Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today I want to talk about how you can mitigate damage in trials through your champion points. Champion points are a very powerful tool, and if you allocate the points correctly in the red CP tree, you actually can avoid a lot of one-shots. So for example, in Moth Lorcars you will not get one-shot by the AoE from the sword and board trash mobs. Or in Asylum, you will not get one shot from the poison cone and all that kind of things. I will put the link from the article in the description. I also do have trial guides on my website if you want to go check them out. But now, before we actually take a look at those different CP allocations, I want to talk about the mending set. This is probably one of the most powerful sets, but it is not used a lot because people don't know, when they read the 5-piece bonus, it doesn't seem to be strong. Just to give you an idea, I don't know the exact numbers, but on trash fights in trials, this reduces damage between 20 to 30%. Yes, 20 to 30%. It's completely insane. On boss fights, this reduces the damage of bosses by about 10 to 15%. When we look at the 5-piece, when you use an area of effect heal ability, you reduce the weapon damage of all enemies within 10 meters of you by 430 points for 3 seconds. Now you might think, well, most bosses or mobs in trials are magic. Yes, that's true. But what you probably didn't know before is all the PvE mobs scale of weapon damage. PvE mobs don't know spell damage. Okay? So even when you're fighting a Rockhot or the Mage or any Magicka caster mob, they scale of weapon damage. The trick with this set, however, though, is that the healer that is using it needs to be within 10-meter range. Now, proccing it is not the problem because you can use like healing springs or any AoE heal, but you need to be within 10 meters, otherwise the debuff will not be applied. Talked enough about this set, it's very strong, so if your raid group is not running it, definitely recommend it to your raid leader. Now, when we look at the article, so I do have different CP allocations for most trials. For example, in AA, you basically only have magic damage, except on the last boss, on the Stone Atronach, but the Stone Atronach is not really dangerous, so we just ignore that. You can see we have a lot of points in Spell Shield and Ironclad. Most damage you take in trials is direct damage, so Ironclad will always be very high. So, yeah, here. 62 Spell Shield, very important, it will take a lot less damage. Then Hell Ra. Here you have a mix between magic and physical damage, so it's kind of balanced, like that's more or less a standard setup that I'm running on most builds, 49, 49, 48 and then 81, 13. Sanctum, most damage here again is magic damage. Now the troll boss has physical attacks, just keep that in mind. So we also have a pretty standard setup. We put a little bit more points into thick skin, as you can see, but the difference is not that big, because we have also a lot of damage over time effects in Sanctum, but then again, pretty basic setup. Moth Lorcars. Now here it is very important that you have like 49 points in Hardy, especially on Trash, because like the AoE slashes from the sword and board dudes, the bow AoE and all that stuff is physical damage. So you really want to have points in there. But also pretty a basic setup. Keep in mind, if you do have any feedback on champion points and stuff, make sure to join my Discord. Like, I'm open for such suggestions. This is not fixed. If you know better setups to mitigate more damage, then make sure to join Discord. I do have a feedback channel there, I do have trials channels, and also do have a fashion channel. It's probably the most important thing this patch. Anyway, let's move on. Halls of Fabrication. Now here, same thing, most damage is actually magic damage. Only the spheres on the first boss do physical damage, even though they shoot poison, so I don't know why, but whatever. Pretty standard setup as well. We have a little bit more points in Spell Shield, also like pretty evenly placed. Then Asylum. Here is probably where currently most people struggle, and with this CP setup we will have a lot less issues. So most damage in here is magic damage. So as you can see, 64% elemental defender, 81 ironclad, 68 spell shield, and a little bit in hardy. But we don't have any points in thick skin, because basically all damage is direct damage in this trial. So you don't need points in thick skin. Very important. So yeah, that's more or less it. Definitely, if you're raiding, check out those numbers, give it a try and see if you actually notice the different damage taken and all that stuff. Very important. But again, don't forget mending. That's it about this. I do have a lot of other interesting articles on my website, and I'm always adding more and more stuff there. So definitely make sure to go check it out. If you do have any questions, ask me in the comment section below. Make sure to not forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Cheers.